What's up YouTube, I'm Gavlar88 and I'm back yet again with another brand new video, and in this video we are going to be looking into some of the most exciting games of 2021. 2020 is thankfully finally over. It has been a year full of trials and tribulations for everyone, and I'm sure most of us, including me, could not wait for it to end. While it has been one of the worst years that I can certainly remember, in terms of gaming it was actually a really good year with many top games coming out. From The Last of Us 2, Doom Eternal, Ghost of Tsushima, Microsoft Flight Simulator, A New Ori, Animal Crossing, Cyberpunk, and many, many more. It was a terrific year for games, and when you throw in the release of 3 brand new next generation consoles, it was a massive year for gaming. But that is all in the past, that is old news. It's time to look to the future, time to look to new stuff. It is time to look to the most exciting games of 2021. Some of these games I am about to talk about don't quite have a firm release date, but they are set to be released in 2021, so they make the cut. Also, games such as the inevitable Call of Duty 2021 as well as the new FIFA aren't listed on this list because, for one, let's be honest, they've not been announced yet, and 2, they're really not that exciting. But anyway, let's get started. PlayStation Studios have been the kings of story-based single-player games for some time now, and I only expect this to continue in 2021. So here are the most exciting games from PlayStation this year. First, we'll go with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac Games. Showing off what the PS5 and more specifically its SSD can do, giving you the ability to hop between worlds seamlessly, this Ratchet & Clank is a one for everyone. Pairing an amazing Pixar art style with some wild weapons, Rift Apart looks to continue doing what Ratchet & Clank does best. Deathloop is a PlayStation and PC launch exclusive, strangely coming from soon-to-be Xbox-owned Arcane, in which you take up the mantle of Cole, an assassin stuck in a time loop, with the only way out being to take out 8 specific targets. Leaving even one alive causes the loop to start again, hence the name Deathloop. Given this original premise, as well as knowing what Arcane can do with their previous games such as Dishonored, I'm extremely excited to check out this one. Guerrilla Games' Horizon Forbidden West looks set to be released in early 2021. The sequel to many people's game of last generation, this game should be a day one for every PlayStation owner. Continue the story of Aloy, battling huge robotic beasts and exploring a gorgeous post-apocalyptic world. This recent addition to the PlayStation roster of IP is sure to eventually become a massive, massive franchise, and it is one that I'm sure is going to be another hit. God of War Ragnarok is undoubtedly the most high-profile game coming from PlayStation. Again, God of War was seen as one of the top games from the last generation, so I don't need to say too much more about why it is so highly anticipated. In Kratos, Sony Santa Monica managed to create and care about a character which many people wouldn't have seen possible given his previous outings. Throw in visceral gameplay as well as stunning visuals, Ragnarok has all the makings of yet another masterpiece from Sony, and one we are expecting this year.
You must prepare yourself.
Nintendo has always been at the forefront of making top-tier games. From creating family-friendly experiences to single-player epics, they will always give their fans something to look forward to. Now, they do hold their cards just a little bit closer to their chest when talking about game announcements, but we do know a couple upcoming games. Announced over 3 years ago, Metroid Prime 4 is sure to be released in 2021. Samus the Bounty Hunter is back, and although we've seen next to nothing from this, I'm sure you're going to see some shooting, some puzzles, and of course, rolling around. The Metroid games are always very highly anticipated, and being one of Nintendo's most adult-targeted games, I'm very excited to see a little bit more from this. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. You want me to say more? Every Legend of Zelda game is anticipated. Every Legend of Zelda game has people excited, and this will be no different. What is different about this one, however, is that it is a direct sequel, which is a little bit strange because I know Majora's Mask was technically a sequel, and the same could be said about Link Between Worlds, but none of them had a 2 at the end, so I'm very interested to see where they go with this. Now, I won't lie, I did not love the Breath of the Wild. I think I played it for about 15 to 20 hours. It just felt a little bit too sparse to me, a little bit too empty. But I will not deny that, of course, Zelda is one of the most anticipated games from 2021. Now, onto the Xbox side of things. Is this where we finally see the culmination of all these studio acquisitions? Well, in my opinion, not quite yet, but we still are going to see a few games from Team Xbox this year. Announced at the Game Awards a couple of years ago, Hellblade 2 is the follow-up to the critically acclaimed Senua's Sacrifice from recent Xbox purchase, Ninja Theory. Hellblade 2 is set to expand on everything its predecessor achieved, giving us more to see, more to explore in a larger Norse-themed world. A massive part of Hellblade 1 was Senua's mental journey, watching her figuratively and physically battle her psychosis. Single-player, story-based narratives are what Xbox fans have been crying out for, and in Hellblade 2, I believe they've got something to finally shout about. The Idea Xbox program has given the Xbox platform some terrific games, and next up from them is 12 Minutes, a game that really needs to be seen to be believed. When I first saw the trailer for this game, I was immediately interested. And with recent news that the game now boasts some top voice acting talents such as James McAvoy, Willem Dafoe and Daisy Ridley, it's easy to see why this game is getting so many people excited. Now trust me guys, if you have not seen the trailer for this, do yourself a favour and go check it out. Blooper Team's psychological horror The Medium is set to be released this month. This is a third-person horror puzzler where the protagonist Marianne must travel to the spirit realm to do some puzzles and battle some hostile forces. Spooky silliness aside, this game is really meant to show what the Xbox hardware can do, both simultaneously running the real world and the spirit world at the same time. This will see the player jumping between both game worlds to solve like puzzles and stuff. Now, I'm not the biggest horror fan in the world, but this is definitely one that I want to check out. Now, on to the big one from Team Xbox, Halo motherfucking Infinite. The legendary franchise is back, continuing the Master Chief's journey to save Cortana and of course complete the Forerunner saga. Promising an open world Halo ring to explore, as well as a full multiplayer suite, this is sure to be the biggest Halo ever. Following its infamous gameplay reveal last summer, it was fairly evident that Halo needed a little bit of work, and because of this it has suffered a delay. At 343 there has been a massive shake-up, with ex-Halo vets now back at the helm to steer the ship home. Scheduled for release at the end of 2021, Halo Infinite is Xbox's most anticipated game, a game that needs to hit and needs to hit big. Xbox knows it, 343 knows it, and the fans know it. Having been in development for well over 5 years now, Halo Infinite has been a long time coming, and I just cannot wait to get my hands on it at the end of this year. We all know that some of the greatest games don't actually come from the console manufacturers. They come from third-party publishers such as EA, Activision, Ubisoft, and 2K. And with that being said, here are some of the most exciting games coming from third-party publishers. In Hitman 3, Agent 47 is back. Continue to take out targets in hilariously gruesome ways in this stealth action game. The final game in the World of Assassinations trilogy, Hitman 3 promises to give you exactly what you love from Hitman. Far Cry 6 goes back to the tropical island theme from the franchise highlight, Far Cry 3. Following the formula from the previous games, I expect this to continue being a first-person action shooter giving you barely a second to catch your breath. The daddy of horror is back. Resident Evil Village, the next in the story franchise, sees you set in a quaint, creepy town filled with strange locals, werewolves, and more than a few familiar faces. Hogwarts Legacy is an action role-playing game set almost 100 years before the events of Harry Potter. Explore the famous school and surrounding grounds, battling magical beasts, dueling evil wizards in a game that will be sure to attract old and new Potter fans alike. So yeah, there is a lot of games to be excited about in 2021. But guys, if you think I've missed anything, let me know in the comments below if you can think of any other games that you guys are excited about. I love getting to talk about games, I love getting to share my excitement for upcoming games. So guys, let me know if you can think of anything. But that's it guys, that's the video. That was my most exciting games from 2021. thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, it would mean a lot to me if you could like, subscribe, all the good stuff. But anyway guys, until next time, I'll catch you.